Putnam County tax deed sale. Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in the tax lien certificate and tax deed business. Really, those are auctions, but I've been involved in them for 30 years as an investor and a guide to other people. Now, the state of Florida is a popular location for investors that want to purchase these alternative investments like tax lien certificates and tax defaulted properties. Now, the process begins with the property owner who fails to pay property taxes. Now, the legislature, which is located in Tallahassee in the northern part of the state, has enacted laws that require everyone to pay property tax. Now, the legislatures throughout the United States are the same way. They all require that the property owners pay property tax. Now, that's a statute of 197 in Florida. A lot of people like to look that up, and that's why I give the number. So in my opinion, Florida is a very benevolent state. All the tax lien certificate states are benevolent because why? Because they allow the property owner that's in default to remain on the property. Now, depending upon the length of the redemption period, they can stay in it for the full redemption period. In Florida, it's 2 years. So today, what we're talking about is the Putnam County tax deed sale, which is definitely going to be an auction. All right, so they call it a tax deed sale, but it's an auction.
How better go there, how better go there, how better go where, how better go here, how better now, how better go.
All right, now the legislature has authorized the county treasurer and the tax collector to do all the work for them, but they've also mandated that all properties must pay property tax. If the property owner does not pay property tax, well, there's going to be a consequence. And that simply is they're going to levy the tax, they're going to try to collect the tax. If they can't collect the tax in this state of Florida, they are going to issue a tax lien certificate. So basically, they put the property in default, and now the property's in default. While it's in default, the property owner can stay there. They can stay on the property, but they're in default of taxes. The county, in order to get revenue, is going to sell a tax lien certificate. All right, now where do they sell those? They sell them on the county website, online. They'll also sell them on the courthouse steps. So I don't know whether it's going to be, but you can check. All right, so I'll be right back and give you some more details on that. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about the Putnam County tax deed sale. It's really an auction. All right, so then the maximum bid in Florida is 18%. In other words, the maximum interest rate is up here at 18%. And every bid after that will go lower. So the next one would be like 17.5 or 17 or 16.5 or 16, and it could all go all the way down to 0.25%. So that's called a reverse auction. Now, many tax lien certificate auctions are reverse auctions, so it doesn't go up, it actually goes down, which is contrary to what a tax deed sale is. So right now I'm just talking about the tax lien. So in a tax lien sale, the bidding is going down, whereas a tax deed sale, when that takes place, then the bidding's going to go up to the highest bidder. So you want to try not to confuse those. Now, I know a lot of people get confused, but you're going to have to think about it. Florida starts with a tax lien certificate sale. That could keep the people in the property for another 2 years not paying taxes. At the end of the 2 years, if they haven't paid, there's going to be another auction, and that'd be a tax deed auction. And the tax deed auction, they're going to sell to the highest bidder. If the property goes in a tax lien certificate auction and the people come in and pay, well, that's at the lowest bidder. So you want to keep those two in your mind. All right, now people come to me all the time, they say, Ted, why would you ever recommend a tax lien certificate sale? What if the people don't pay me? All right, well, here's how the rules work in Florida and in many of the tax lien certificate states. All right, first of all, the people defaulted, so they stay in the property. All right, a person comes along and wants an investment, they buy a tax lien certificate. Could earn as much as 18%. All right, so the people are still staying on the property, this interest rate is accruing. All right, only two things can happen with a tax lien certificate. The people that are in the property that have defaulted, they're going to come in and pay. All right, that's one thing. If they don't come in and pay, they're going to completely default. All right, so if they come in and pay, what happens is they pay whatever they owe on the tax certificate plus the accrued interest, and the tax certificate goes away, but the investor makes money. So that was one. Number two, they don't pay at all. If they don't pay at all, they stay there the full 2 years, and then the person that owns the certificate requests the state have another auction, or the county have another auction, which they do. At that point in time, they move the people off the property, and the new buyer gets that property. Meanwhile, the tax lien certificate person gets paid 100% of whatever they invested, and they get all the accrued interest. In most states, with a tax lien certificate, they reach their maturity. In other words, when the redemption period ends, that's the mature time, the people that own the tax certificate are going to get the property. So when you invest in tax certificates, you invest in the certificate, you either get paid or you get the property. Simple as that. You see those little white circles? That's how many auctions are taking place within that state in the next 90 days. This calendar updates every single day. I'm here today to show you how to make money. To do that, I'm going to show you briefly that there are thousands of tax defaulted real estate properties across the 3,000 plus counties in the United States. This is quite interesting. You're looking at the Ted Thomas Magic Interactive Map and Auction Calendar. It changes every day. Now, I created the calendar and the map so I would know how many auctions are taking place every day in the United States. Now I can show the little guy how to make money. Most importantly, I created this system so I could have an auction list for each auction 24/7. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about Putnam County tax deed sale. It's really an auction, all right? So I've explained the two things that are going to happen with the tax lien certificate. So that's where it starts. And now we're getting to the situation where we're talking about a tax deed sale, which is really an auction. Okay, in most states, if the property owner does not pay the tax lien, the people that have the tax lien certificate are going to get a property. But in Florida, that's not going to happen. At the end of the redemption period, there's going to be another auction, and then the highest bidder will get it. All right, so this is not too complicated, but I know for people that when they first start, they have a lot of trouble with it. Remember, at the second auction, the property has been confiscated. So at the Putnam County tax deed sale, which is an auction, what's going to happen is they're going to auction the property off to the highest bidder. All right, when they auction the property off in Putnam County, they're going to delete the mortgage or the trust deed on the property. All right, in Florida, they use mortgages. Other states, they might use a trust deed. Putnam County has what they call tax deed sale. Now, the tax deed sale is nothing more than an auction. All right, so this all it is going to be is a second auction. So what is important to understand about this is that the county has confiscated the property before the auction. Now, the counties, they're going to move the people off the property. They're going to sell the property. They're going to delete the mortgage. And now the new owner is going to be the highest bidder at the auction. Now, these properties are sold at absolute bargains. What are the bargains they're going to sell them for? Well, they're going to start the bidding at very close to the back taxes. So ask yourself, if you can get a slightly used and abused property for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, and then you can put a sign on the front lawn, or you can put it on Craigslist, or you can put it on eBay, or you can put it on multiple listing and get it sold for 50 or 60 cents on the dollar, would that work for you? Well, it sure works for most people, because that's a significant profit between buying it for 20 cents and selling it for 50 or 60 cents. That would be a nice margin of profit for anybody that wanted to do it. So if that would work for you, you'll want to learn about the Putnam County tax deed sale, which is an auction. Now, what's going on here? Well, the county needs money. What do they need money for? They need money because they got to pay the police department, the fire department. They got to, who else they have to pay? School teachers. They got to pay the county employees. So you're not only helping the county when you buy one of these tax default products, but you're helping yourself because you're buying at a bargain price, and then you've got margin where you can sell it and make yourself some money. Now, people that get involved in this business, how did they get involved? They get involved by learning it. So having a successful coach or a mentor is almost like having a miracle. Why? Because they're going to teach you what you don't know. See, the problem is you don't know what you don't know. So when you start asking questions, that makes a difference. So I personally know when I started asking other people questions, I wrote down the answers when they told me, because now I could grow myself and I could accelerate my learning and be able to make myself money. Other people have been through this before you. So I found a coach that would help me, and in business, I find business people would help me. I'm happy to pay for that. Why? Because it accelerates how quickly I can make money. That's number one. But what about number two? Well, number two is the most important one. Think of how much better off you're going to be if you have a coach guiding you step by step and you don't make mistakes. Number 2 is try not to make those mistakes. All right, so it can be pretty darn intimidating starting a business. Successful people ask other people questions. That's what I'm recommending. All right, now with tax lien certificates and tax deed properties, these auctions are happening in 3,000 plus counties across the United States. Every county is authorized to have a tax defaulted property. Half of the counties are authorized to have tax lien certificate auctions. All right, now lots of people are going to give you advice. I know that you're getting it from young people, you're getting it from old people, you're getting it from your friends, you're getting it from people who don't even like you. Here's the problem. They don't understand tax lien certificates. So how are they going to give you advice? So lots of people giving you advice, you've got to recognize they want to help you, but they can't help you because they have no expertise. So how are they going to give you advice on tax liens and deeds? What you need to do is get a good coach and get a mentor, and you'll accelerate your learning. It'll go much faster. Tax lien certificates are sold to the lowest bidder. Tax defaulted properties are sold to the highest bidder. That could be easily confused, and it is confused by most people. You don't want that to happen. All 67 counties in the state of Florida are mandated by statute to have these auctions, okay? However, they call them for, like in this case, the episode's been about the Putnam County tax deed sale. It really is an auction. Now, I'm run out of time, so that's all I have time for today. If you're going to do this business, you want to make sure that you look at the property. Don't buy a property, don't buy a tax lien certificate unless you've looked at the property. You wouldn't marry the woman without looking for her, so don't buy one of these properties. It could have been through a fire, could be next to a pig farm, there could have been a hurricane. Lots of things could go wrong. My name is Ted Thomas. You want a free list and see what it looks like? Well, you can go right below me and you can order a free list and you'll see what auction properties, it'll be a sample list and you'll see what it looks like. I'm Ted Thomas.